Welcome back to Cobra Trading, where we focus on people, passion, and platform. I'm Alex Bustos, and today we're going to talk about short selling and what is it exactly. Stay tuned. So typically, as a trader, when you're introduced to trading, you're probably first off thinking, I buy a stock low and I sell high. And that's typically what people do, right? 90% of traders, probably more, trade this way. That's how we are taught. That's how it's just comprehended, right? However, there's another way to trade. For those who don't know, you can do the exact opposite. You can sell high and buy back low. Now, that is called short selling. It's betting against a stock, betting that it's going to go further downward, right? If you feel like a stock might have negative news, maybe it has a negative catalyst, something came out, and you think that's going to cause the stock to go down, well, you can decide to take a short position and bet that it will continue to go down instead of buying it. Because there's some opportunities where you're like, I don't want to buy this, but I could see it going down. That's when you can take that chance. Now, short trading is a higher risk, and let me explain. When you take a negative position, you ultimately can lose more than you own. How does that make sense? Well, when you buy a stock, right, when you're buying, you can only buy as much as you have in your capital. And so when it goes down against you, you can only lose 100%. But when you're shorting, you're borrowing shares from the company, from your broker, whoever it may be. And when you're borrowing these shares, you're taking a negative position. In a stock, you've seen it, and maybe you haven't. Maybe if you're new at trading, let me explain. A stock can go from 100 to 0, right? That means it loses 100%. But it can also go 100 to 300 to 400 to 500. In other words, it can go up 200%, 300%, 400%. I've seen stocks go up 1,000%. I think not too long ago, and maybe a couple of months ago, one stock went up 1,400% and more in a day. So you can see how you can lose all of your money that you have quickly. This is something that you have to be aware of. And this is why you need to rewatch the video we just released last week on developing a trading plan, because it's so important. The first part of that plan we talk about is having an exit strategy. If you don't have an exit strategy as a new trader and you're trying to short, you can say bye-bye to your account. And I'm telling you this because we at Cobra Trading want to make sure you're prepared, that you are safe. And so you need to know you can lose everything short. With that being said, there's one other part about short selling that isn't talked about often, and that's borrows. Now, what's a borrow? You can't just choose to short any stock out there in the market. Some, sure, you can. But there's some stocks, like small caps, for example, where they are hard to borrow. HTB. You'll see it sometimes on your platforms. Whichever platform you're using, everyone's different, but they'll explain that they're hard to borrow, which means you have to request shares. And as a short seller, you have to pay to get those shares, even if you don't use them. And so for us at Cobra Trading, you have direct access to us where you can talk with us in a chat, one-on-one chat, and request, and potentially most of our traders can get free shares from us because we provide that level of service. And then if we can't get you those free shares, then we make sure we get you one of the lowest prices that you can get. And so that is our goal here. But that's something you need to be aware of. If you're going to realm into the short side, which some people call the dark side, right? Because it's the exact opposite that you want to do. And when it comes to the market, you think buy, sell high, not the opposite, sell high, buy low. It's just the opposite, right? It's the opposite side. So a lot of people, you have bears versus bulls. They have these little battles. So that's what they're talking about when they're fighting the bears. They're fighting the short sellers. So if you decide to be a bear and you decide to go against the grain, you need to know right now, you need to be careful, you need to study, and you need to have a plan. And if you don't know what a plan is, I highly suggest you go watch our previous video on what is a plan before you even think about reaching out into this type of trading. We hope you enjoyed this video on short selling. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell because we will release one video a week so that way you stay up to date on your trading career.